let us talk about the sounds today. Just like I promised in the morning that I will be posting a video on sounds. Take note that things about orals, sounds in the English language is not something that somebody will tell you that they are 100, that they are perfect, that they know everything about it. Let me first sound it as a warning. The English language is not ours. So there are situations where you observe that the way things are pronounced by the native speakers are not the way they are pronounced by some other people all over the globe. So there are words that might be mispronounced. There are words that might be pronounced wrongly. That is what I mean. So we are going to be talking about sounds. Now, when you talk about the English language, you need to understand that the English language can come in two perspectives. A person can be talking about the written aspect of the English language. This is where you are pointing at the letters of the alphabet. A person can as well be talking about the spoken aspect of the English language. This is where you are no longer talking about the letters. You are now talking about the sound symbols. What you have there are symbols and not letters. Okay, now, we are going to take it this way. When you talk about sounds, we are told that the English language has 44 sounds. And I would always tell people that one of the first steps to take is to know these 44 sounds. You should have them in your head. You should know them, be able to present each of them. This would be a very significant step to take in you being able to transcribe, in you being able to recognize certain sounds in words wherever you come across them. Now, the English language has 44 sounds. And these sounds are divided into two, like you might have known before. We have the consonants. And we have the vowels. What you see here is not usually a problem. Whenever a person says that they have a problem with the sounds of the English language, check it. It is always very possible that where you're having that problem is on the side of the vowels. The consonants are not always problems. But we are going to be taking the both of them. Now, these vowels have two parts. A person can be talking about the pure vowels. Of course, you know the vowels are 20 in number. A person can be talking about the pure vowels or the impure vowels. Now, a person might choose to refer to these as monotones. The prefix here, mono, is to tell you that everything you'll be talking about here should just have one sound each. On this part, a person might decide not to refer to it using this name and take it to be diphthongs. This is another name for it. Now, this is when you talk about a case where you have two sounds. You start with a particular sound, then it seems to glide to the other. There are two sounds that you have here. Now, for these monotones, we have 20 vowels. The monotones are 12 in number, and the diphthongs are 8. Here, these pure vowels that are 12 will further be split into two, where you talk about the short and the long. Now, the short vowels are 7. The long vowels are 5. The consonants are 24, of course. Now, this part of it might be known. This part of it is something that is always very easy to talk about. When a student starts to tell you that there are 20 vowels, that under the vowels you have this, you have that, these ones are simple. Now, the problem is, how do you derive these sounds? How do you make it possible? will you be able to have all these sounds in your head? That is actually what I want to treat in this video. Okay, let us take it this way. When you are to present this, let us derive the 44 sounds that we have in the English language. We start it this way. That is why you have this. These are letters of the alphabet. There are 26 of them. And of course, somebody cannot tell me that you don't know how to write A, B, C, D to Z. Now, that is what you have here. There are 26 of them. We are going to pick the sounds from here. Now, what I want to talk about is how you find it easy picking those sounds from here. Now, this might not be the pattern that some other person will use when explaining this to you, but it is just, and I have not said that this is how to do it, but it is what will make it easier for people who are still trying to learn how to present these 44 sounds without having to visit any book. Okay, there are 26 letters of the alphabet that we have here. These 26 letters of the alphabet are what will give us those sounds. There are 26 of them. Let us start with the consonants. If we are to start with the consonants, what it means is that we have to bring out the vowels. And the vowels we have there are A, E, I, O, U. Am I right? Therefore, we have to take them out from here. A, E, I, O, and U. We are left with just 21 letters. So what we are looking for now are the 24 consonant sound symbols. We take it this way. Observe that there are letters that I would have to remove. There are letters that I will have to attach a number on top. And there are letters, yes, there are letters that I will have to remove entirely. There are letters I will have to bring down and convert them into sound symbols. And there are some that I would have to add numbers. That number is meant to tell you the number of sound symbols that you are expected to pick from there. The reason you know those letters where you attach those numbers is so when you try deriving these sounds, whenever you come there, you will get to know that there are 2 or 3 sounds that you are expected to pick from here. That will help you to recall them. Now, let us start with this way. We have this. And we bring this down. I believe you know already that the only difference between these, for those cases where you have a particular letter looking just like the symbol that represents it, the only thing that will make you differentiate the letter from the symbol is this lance that you have here. Now, we have brought this down. When I come here, I would normally tell my students to eliminate this. We do not have anything. In fact, I would say that this letter C is useless. And somebody would ask me why. Now, we have the letter C here, we have the letter C here, and we have the letter C here. These three, the 3 words, all begin with the letter C. But for the fact that it sounds differently here, it sounds differently here and differently here. Here, it comes as ch, and here as. What you have here is this, what you have here is this, and here, it takes this sound. Therefore, just like I would jokingly tell my students, a man would not want to be in a house with an unfaithful wife. And this letter C is an unfaithful wife. This is why we have to take it out. Okay, now, we go for this. Yes, we have a sound like that. We bring this one down also. When we come here, okay, we have this. Now, when you come over here, help me attach 2 to the top. That is to say that you are expected to pick 2 sounds from there. And the 2 sounds you pick from there are, the first one, no. This is not where you have that 2. What you have here is this, just like in the word God. And the same thing here, it is when you come here that you attach that 2. Because there are 2 sounds that you're expected to pick from here. And the 2 sounds are the first one. This sound, just like what you have in the word major. This is what you have here, this sound. That is the first one. Now, the second one is this. That is, when you have something like this, measure, that is this sound. Okay? We continue. We have this. Yes, we bring it down. And we are taking this one also. You just observe the way I bring them down. That is the easiest way you do it. Now, when you get to this place, help me attach two to this place. There are two sounds that you'll be picking from there also. The first one, you try to check a word like this. This is letter N. If you try to pronounce this word, observe this, the sound that you produce here. And you notice that the tip of your tongue goes to the back of your teeth. Now, that is this sound. Just like in the word no, in the word never, and the rest of them. Those N sounds that you produce, having your tongue go to the back of your teeth, that is what you have here. And that is the first one. But then there is a second one. Imagine when you have a word like this. This is the same letter N. But when you pronounce this word, you will find out that the contact is not, it has nothing to do with the tip of the tongue and the back of the teeth. The contact seems to be close to the throat. Now, ink, the contact is close to your throat. Now, the same thing with when you have something like this word, king. Therefore, we have a sound for that, like this. That is the reason you have this T here. Okay, this one will come down. And when you come to this, when you come here, this is one of the letters that have to be eliminated. We do not have this. The reason is that any word that you find this letter Q is already the Q there. The sound it has normally is a combination, in many cases, a combination of these two or this. Therefore, we do not need it. That is why we have to remove it. Okay, we bring this down. And when you come to the letter S, also attach a number to the top. In that case, what we have there will be 3. We have 3 there because there are 3 sounds we are expected to get from there. The first one is this. Just like in the word sit. The second one, we have something like this. Just like in the word she. Just like in the word shoe. And then the third one is this. This is what you have in the word church. That is the sound. That is the sound. Of course, you should know that there is a difference in sound between shop and chop. Now, this is what you have here. And the sound here is what you have here. Now, that is the reason for that 3. If you come over here, also help me attach 3 to the top of this. Now, you are having 3 there because there are 3 sounds we are expected to pick from there. The first one, just like in the word take. The second one, we have a sound like this. Now, when you have a combination of T and H with the sound of this letter, that's T that you know. When you have a combination of T and H taking this sound, in most of the cases, this is what you have there. Take for instance, in that word, thanks, in that word, think or think. Now, the English language will classify this under what is known as interdental sound. You produce this sound by having your tongue come in between your teeth. Now, that is what you have here. And the third one, remember, there should be three. The third one is a sound like this. Now, what you have here is that situation where you have the combination of T and H, this time around, sounding like this. Like in the word father. This is what you have there. Brother, and the rest of them. Okay, now, here, yes, this one will come down. And this one also will come down. This does not exist. So we take it out. We do not use this. This letter Y, as a sound, it will take this shape. Take note that there are situations where a person might have a transcription like this and pronounce this as Jess, but this is wrong. Now, this is a sound symbol and not a letter. Don't let this confuse you with this letter. The moment you have, if you have something like this, this is the small letter J. But the moment there is this line here, it is no longer a letter. This has become a sound symbol. And that is what you have here. Like in the word yam, yes, yet, you, and the rest of them. And finally, you bring down this. If you count what you have here, there should be 24 in number. This is about the consonant sound symbols. Okay, now what about the vowels? Now we have, there are five letters that we have here. And we are expected to derive the 20 vowel sound symbols from here. Simply take it this way. Let's say this place will be for the pure vowels, and here will be for the impure vowels. Now, when we come here, let us take this place for the short ones and here for the long ones. We start it this way. This is letter A, right? Let us bring it down. Here, it becomes the short A sound. Everything here will be short. We have something like this. This is the short A sound. Bring this one down. We have a sound like this. Bring this one down also. There is a sound this way. When you come here, the shape will change. What you have for this would appear like this. And when you come here, it takes this shape. Now, the 5 that we have here have been brought down. But remember, the short vowels should be 7, and the long vowels should be 5. Okay, we have got 5 already. What about the other 2? Since we have derived 5 from here, this is where you remind yourself that there are 2 idiots among the vowel sounds. I refer to those sounds as idiots because they confuse. Now, these are sometimes referred to as troublesome vowels. The first one is this. Now, this is a sound that seems to be a combination of this and this. We're going to talk about that when we begin to transcribe. And the devil we have among them is the schwa sound. That sound that appears like this. This particular sound goes to places where you would never know that they would be there. This is a sound that goes to take the position of other sounds. There are places you would think that this is supposed to be E sound here, or this is supposed to be A sound here, but the schwa sound will go and replace it. And this is why, when I teach, I always refer to this as a devil among the sounds. Just take the 5 of them and remember that there are 2 idiots at them. Alright. Now, we'll come over here. We'll come to the long part of it. You see how easily we derive this? This short A sound, simply bring it here. It has a long version. This E should come over here. It has this long one. This E, bring it here also. This one, when it comes here, it takes this shape. And bring this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are done with the pure vowels. Is that confusing? If you do it this way, it is very simple. Let's now come over here. When you come over here, now this is what you do. I don't know if I would remember this, but let us give it a try. Let's say we have something like this schwa sound. Let me put it 3 times. And let me check if I can add something to it. Let me bring this as sound here. Do we have something like this? Yes. Do we? We have something like this. Now, okay, let's start with this. We have something like this. Like in the word air. I am still going to come here. We have something like this. We can combine these two to give us a word like ear, or fear. Now, for the third one, we have something like this. This is what you see is a word like where. This is what you have there. Okay, we have taken this 3, which means that this cannot go there. Okay, now, let's take another one. Let's bring the E sound over here and add something to it. We have something like this. I. And now, just like in the word fight, if you transcribe that, what you are going to have should be, this is how the transcription should be. Now we have something like that. The second one, we have something like this. A, just like in the word take. If you transcribe this, what you are going to have is this. So this is what we have there. There are 5 of them that we've got. We continue. Which other one are we missing? Okay, now let's try this. We have something like this. This is what we have, replacing that O sound that you know. Just like when you have a word like ho. This is what you have there. Ho. The sound is ho. And for this one, we have sorry, I missed something. There ought to be, the each sound here should be 3. There ought to be another one where you have this. And this is for those words like boy, oil. Therefore, what we do for me is this. This place, there should be 3. And then we have this before this. If you take it this way, you will find out that when you practice this just like 2 or 3 times, you will become, everything about sound will become very easy for you. You wouldn't need to visit any book to derive the 44 sounds. And this is usually the first step that you take when you want to learn to transcribe. We're going to be talking about the other aspects of sounds in English language in the subsequent videos. For now, we are going to be stopping here. Thank you so much.